How to make a dog throw up. Most dog owners know all too well that canine companions are naturally curious. Unfortunately, this sometimes extends to their eating habits as well. In certain situations, vomiting can help, but other times, it can actually make things worse. Thus, if your dog has eaten something that you believe to be poisonous or dangerous, you should do the following. 1. Get in contact with professional help. 2. Make the dog vomit only if you are directed to. 3. Take your dog to the vet whether or not you made it vomit. Part 1. First steps. 1. If the dog is choking, don't make it throw up. When a dog is choking, time is of the essence, and there are much more useful things you can do. See how to save a choking dog for help with this problem. 2. Call your vet right away. Only a trained veterinarian will have the training and expertise to know when vomiting is appropriate with absolute certainty. This should be your first move as soon as you notice that your dog has eaten something hazardous. Listen to your vet's instructions and follow them promptly. When you call your vet, you'll usually be asked for this information. Your dog's approximate weight. What it ate, how much it ate, and when it ate it. Any medical conditions it may have. 3. If your vet isn't available, call a helpline. Dogs don't always eat poisonous materials during your vet's office hours. Luckily, the following helplines are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Note that using these services may cost you a consultation fee. ASPCA Poison Control, 888, for 26, 4435. Pet Poison Helpline, 855, 213, 6680. 4. Make sure the thing your dog ate requires vomiting. The animal expert you contact should be able to help you determine when vomiting is necessary. Always follow this person's instructions, even if they conflict with the ones in this article. In general, vomiting may be advised in the following situations. Your dog ate something that is poisonous. Your dog is healthy. Your dog ate the poisonous substance within about the last 2 hours. Your dog doesn't have certain genetic features that make it more likely to inhale its vomit. These include collapsing trachea, abnormal airway, and brachycephaly, having a smushed in face. For instance, Boston Terriers and Pugs have this. 5. Don't induce vomiting when it will cause more harm than good. As noted above, making your pet vomit can be a very bad idea in certain situations. In general, vomiting will not be advised in the following situations. Your dog ate the hazardous substance over 2 hours ago. Your dog is obviously sick, dazed, distressed, or lethargic. Your dog ate something corrosive, like bleach, acid, drain cleaner, batteries, etc. This can cause burns on the inside of the throat as it comes back out. Your dog ate a hydrocarbons or petroleum distillate, like motor oil, gasoline, kerosene, lighter fluid, etc. This can lead to severe pneumonia if the dog inhales any of the substance when it vomits. Part 2. Inducing vomiting. 1. If you can, take your dog outside to prevent a mess. Dogs aren't often very tidy vomiters. They don't understand what's happening to them, so they'll rarely get all their vomit into a single, tidy pile. This means that it's usually easiest to simply make your dog throw up outside. If this isn't an option, grab a garbage bag or 2 to catch the vomit. You may also want to lay down a tarp or newspaper if you have some handy. 2. If you can, offer your dog a small meal. This isn't essential, so you can skip this step if you don't have food handy. However, if your dog hasn't eaten in the last few hours, this will make it more likely to vomit by making its stomach fuller. You can use its typical dog food for this. Don't pester your dog if it doesn't seem to want to eat. Your time is better spent by moving on. 3. Measure 1 milliliter (ml) of hydrogen peroxide per pound of dog weight. This converts to about 2 ml per kilogram. The hydrogen peroxide you want is 3% concentration. If you absolutely have to use more concentrated hydrogen peroxide, dilute it with water. If you have to use a less concentrated hydrogen peroxide, use extra. 1 tablespoon is approximately 15 milliliters. 1 teaspoon is approximately 5 milliliters. Don't give more than 45 milliliters, 3 tablespoons, at once, even if your dog weighs more than 45 pounds. This can make your dog sick. 4. Squirt the hydrogen peroxide down your dog's throat. This can be difficult. Your dog doesn't understand the danger it's in, so it may resist. Your best bet is to use a syringe or a turkey baster aimed at the back of the dog's throat. Holding your dog, gently work your fingers under its lips and into its mouth. Gently hold its head in place, aim the syringe or baster, and squirt the hydrogen peroxide all at once. Do your best to get the hydrogen peroxide down, even if your dog doesn't like it, which it probably won't. If your vet has directed you to make your dog vomit, your dog's health is more important than its comfort. If your dog is clenching its teeth, you can sometimes get it to open if you squeeze gently on either side of its jaw near the back. 5. If you can't get the hydrogen peroxide down, offer it an ice cream. Vets will normally recommend against feeding ice cream to dogs for nutritional reasons. However, desperate times call for desperate measures. Mix the dose of hydrogen peroxide with some vanilla ice cream and offer it to the dog in a bowl. Most dogs will eat this, as the sugary taste of the ice cream does a fairly good job of masking the soapy taste of the chemical. Honey is another good choice if you don't have any ice cream on hand. 6. Wait for the dog to vomit. Stay by the dog, watching it. Have it walk around with you for a minute or two to get the stomach moving, which helps speed things along. Hydrogen peroxide should irritate the stomach and cause vomiting within 15 minutes or so. Be ready, vomiting may come on quickly. If your dog doesn't vomit within 15 minutes, you can give it a second dose. If it still hasn't vomited 15 minutes after that, call the vet or hotline again for instructions. 7. Take the dog to the vet. Whether or not your dog vomits, you should do this. The only exception is if your vet specifically tells you it's not necessary. Vomiting doesn't always clear out the entire stomach, and it does nothing to remove poison that has already moved on into the intestines. These mean that a vet's attention may sometimes be necessary to avoid danger, even if your dog seems happy when it's done vomiting. If you can, collect a small sample of the dog's vomit to bring to the vet. Your vet may be able to. 8. Protect yourself while cleaning up the vomit. If your dog vomited outside, cleanup may not be terribly difficult. A hose will often get the job done. However, if more hands-on work is required, be sure to take all necessary precautions. Keep in mind that whatever your dog ate may still be in its stomach contents. If this is hazardous to humans, protecting yourself is very important. With this in mind, you'll want to use thick rubber or latex gloves as you clean up the vomit. If the hazardous material is letting off fumes or the smell is overpowering, a face mask or a builder's respirator is a very good idea. Tips: Don't use salt or syrup of ipecac to get your dog to vomit. Both can cause negative, sometimes even dangerous, side effects. Note that it's not just harsh cleaners and chemicals that are dangerous to dogs. Some foods that are perfectly safe for humans can cause poisoning in dogs. These include avocado, grapes, bread dough, alcohol, onions, garlic, hops, and raisins.